Still too loud? Change the tone. Show you guys the basics of it. You guys are going to oh, okay. Well, I can't fix it, but I can tell you what's not working properly. Here's what you do if it breaks down. See this 800 number right here? Follow that. It does have a self-diagnostic on here, and I can show you that. And then I can show you the service code to get in. So that's the service code is 6702. So for you, this is kind of all the stuff you want to look at. Like here, I want to make sure we're on the most current version, which is 2.0, which is good. This is for the chickens and stuff. The main thing I want to check in the beginning is this. I want to make sure that's the most current version. You want to see what all these are? These are right here. Okay. So something that's good that you can do as operators or facilities is calibrate touchscreen. Every once in a while, the touchscreen will get a little wonky. Respond quickly. So you go to this one right there, and then you just do this. And then you're back. Okay. The other one is this one right here, which is the probe calibration. So that's good for you guys to do too. So you've got this probe in here. And once a week or so, you get some ice water, more ice than water. And then you're going to stir this in the ice water, and the goal is 32 degrees. So once you hit this, so it's reading 152 right now, and it's just reading the internal temperature of the body. You're going to stir it in there, let it settle in there a little bit, let the temperature settle, and then you go plus or minus based on what it reads. So for 31, you just go plus, so it's at 32. As long as it settles in at 32, then you're good. You want to make sure when you're probing your meats that if you're probing to 165, it's not 160. And then in terms of maintenance, the cleaning is important to do, and based on your product, what you're going to do is the level of cleaning that you do. So there's the options right there. You see how I got there for the home screen? So again, there's bubbles right there. This is your home screen. End of the day, you're going to cool it down. It won't allow you to clean unless it's under 150 degrees. So if you push this and it's at 200 or somewhere around there, it'll tell you to open the door, the fan will kick in, it'll automatically cool itself down. And then once you get to the screen and it allows you to run the cleaning cycles, you've got a rinse right here. I'm not going to push it because once you start it, you can't stop. So here's a 20-minute rinse, and then all the way to the heavy duty, which is like if you're doing a bunch of chickens on your chicken racks and it's really greasy in there, you probably want to do that one, but you're going to want to do that overnight. It's like 3.5 hours. So you have cleaning tablets, and how many you put in is based on which level. So this is kind of the standard clean, the middle one. It's like an hour and a half. Still, you're pretty much going to do that at the end of the day. And you're all done. The only thing you're going to want to do in between batches with something is maybe the rinse. Like if you're doing a bunch of meats, and then you want to do some veg, you don't want your broccoli to taste like bacon, although that might not be bad. You do a quick rinse. So that's just a 20-minute. But if I push this one, it'll tell me, it'll say 4 tablets. It'll say 4, and then you have some tablets around here somewhere. So just a little container. Open this up. Just swing around this way so you can take a look at it.
Guys, if you're hungry, there's coffee and fresh out of the oven cinnamon rolls.
Okay, you're going to put the tablets in here. So you're going to pop this up.
Yeah, this is 2. So
in there.
Can we put another one?
I'm gonna put one potato salad in here.
Close the door. It's going to do its thing. It's going to run, and again, that's the end of the day. So even that one's like an hour and a half. So if you're doing general cleaning or general cooking, you're not quite sure, just run this one at the end of the day.
You want me to get you 1 minute?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, no, but she said give him a year.
You want to do that for sure. I mean, cleaning, just like everything else, just like all this stuff, braising pan, your range. The more you clean it, the longer it's going to last. So, and you do have filtration here. I know that was that for sure. So that's very important. We got some serious filtration here, which is great because our water in Southern California is horrible. So that's very important in terms of the longevity of the oven, filtration, daily cleaning, and they're pretty bulletproof. I wouldn't say bulletproof. Pretty reliable other than that.
Okay.
So let's go into the basics of the cooking. Okay, so here's your home screen. You turn the oven on. You've got 2 options here. We're just going to start here. Here's your recipe book. There's some recipes shipped. We'll go into that in a second, but let's start with I just want to cook something. So we're going to go here. So this is your manual cooking screen. And you're just going to start from the top and work your way down. If you want to know what all of these are, again, push this I right here. It tells you everything. You've got all these icons here. Don't worry about these too much. The main thing you want to look at right here is you want to start with your cook mode. Okay? So you've got steam, defaults to 212. So if you're just going to steam a bunch of broccoli, steam some veg, whatever you want to do, fish or whatever, this is basically how you're just going to start here. It defaults to 212. You can do low temp steam and a high temp steam as well. For example, asparagus comes out great at 190. So if I want to go, I'm doing some asparagus. Set the check. So you see where I got there? I just went right next to the thermometer there. That's how I can change the temperature. So that's low temp steam. If I'm doing a bunch of root vegetables and I want high temp steam, I can do that as well. You can go like 235. I'm in a hurry for my potatoes. I want to go fast. You can go 235 high temp steam. Time, there's your time.
The lunch lady.
This thing cooks back like 40 to 50% faster than even conventional. So this thing cranks. So let's say we want to do high temp steam and we're going to go like 10 minutes, like that, whatever. Ready to go. Hit start.
I'll be happy to watch it, but if you get the
high temp steam. I mean, depends. You know, peels, you know, cut them smaller and everything. But you can do them in 10 minutes. Yeah, fast. High temp steam, sure. So I'm gonna hit stop right now. This right here is for probe. You're typically not going to use that in steam mode. So here's our other options for cook modes. You got convection, just basic convection. You probably want to do baking with that. Keep in mind, just like with convection cooking, you're going to go 25 degrees below what you typically would do. You're going to do your cookies typically at 350 in a standard oven with no fan. You're going to do a 325 in here. Okay. So that's convection right there. And then this right here is my favorite, combi mode, which is convection and steam. Okay, so you've got the benefit of the browning, of the convection, the texture cooking, but also the benefit of that moisture inside the cavity. So here's what it defaults to in terms of fan speed and humidity, which is fine. Just that for now, until you get used to cooking with this, go ahead and just do the 80% fan, 100% humidity. Like if you're doing chicken, you're doing veg, just go with the default top, and that's what it's going to default to. And then as you cook more and more, you're going to get more used to it. Like I can tell you right now, on the fan speed, if you want really even throughout, you got a bunch of sheet pans in there, 60% is the best. So go there. But for now, just start with 80%, which is the default. Okay? So again, you can set your temp. Let's say we want to go, let's say we're going to do some chicken. We're going to do 375. We're not going to do time, we're going to do pro. We want to cook it to 175. Okay? So that's the best way to cook proteins, in my opinion. Combi mode, use the pro. You got larger chunks, everything, chicken breast, whole chicken, whatever. You're going to cook it to exactly that internal temperature of 175. Probe in the thigh if you're doing a whole chicken, not on the bone. Or sometimes it's kind of hard, breast is okay in the thick part of the breast. So that's when you got the chicken racks here, so you can do whole like rotisserie style chicken. They come out great. I would, yeah. Like the Kroger's, all the Ralphs, they all use these ovens for their chickens. If you go to Kroger and buy rotisserie chicken, they're not coming out of rotisserie ovens. They're coming out of this exact double stack right here. They use those same racks. They have a special rack pan underneath that kind of funnels the grease, and they have a grease extraction system too. So you guys don't have that. So definitely put a pan underneath there to catch that grease. In regards to the Pro, if you're not using it, take it out. Because ours are removable. I'll probably give these to Chef Andrea because you break them, they're $300. Also, then you can't use it. So what's nice is that if you do break them, they're not hardwired, so you don't need to have a guy come out. You just have them send out your Pro. So if you're not using it, just take it out because it's too easy to get it caught up in the sheet pan or something and it gets broken. If the tip gets broken, the wires get jammed, jacked up or something, you can't utilize it. So I'm going to put it in for now, but I'm going to tell Chef that that's what I recommend. Go ahead. Pull them if you're not using it. Any questions so far? Cheat sheet. Yeah, it's called the manual. It's a number of sheets. I'll have to see. I think there's a quick start guide I could send Chef that's just like 2 pages. So that would be helpful. There's, the main thing you want to just get used to is don't get worried about all these icons right here. Delta T and power mode. And you guys, you do have a smoker. So you can do some cool smoker stuff in here, and that's really simple. Like you've got a cold smoke and a hot smoke. So let's say you want to do smoked salmon, you want to do cold smoke, you can go right here. And here's the time for the cold smoke. see how this is, there's no temperature. Because the oven itself is the only thing that's going to fire is that heating element right there. So, you know where your smoker boxes are? You're going to soak your chips for hot smoke, cold smoke, same thing. You want to soak your chips for about 30 minutes to an hour. You don't need to soak them overnight. It's kind of a misnomer. Everybody thinks you have to soak them overnight. Then you can over soak your chips. So just 30 minutes to an hour is fine. And then you can do different flavors. You probably got a bunch of chips around here. When you get the smoker, you get kind of a starter kit. So you got different flavors. So you got your hickory, there's like a cherry, a peach wood. Depends on what you're cooking. Hickory's good, kind of general for just about everything. The fruity woods are good for like fish, poultry, pork, stuff like that. So you're gonna load this thing up, and here's how you put it in. You got your chips soaked, and see this right here? This goes right in where the heating is.
Okay, let me find out if we can do more than one.
Easy. Go ahead and close it. The time is for how much time that heating element's going to fire. Keep in mind, you want to let it kind of go a little bit ahead before you put your product in, because you want to get that smoke generated.
Everybody takes one.
So really, like 30 minutes is probably good baseline for that. If you're cold smoking, I recommend throwing a bunch of ice in there. Keep that temperature down. I'll throw ice right down in the bottom there, and then a pan of ice. Just put a pan of ice up above, so you got like ice below and ice above. So you're doing salmon, and then throw the salmon in there, and then let it get smoking a little bit. Give it like 10 minutes or so, and go ahead and throw it in. I mean, you can really just throw it in and just set extra time too. It's probably a good way to do it. Just set it for like 30 minutes. And then you just hit start. That thing's gonna fire, it's gonna generate smoke. You're keeping that temperature down because you got ice in there. After this time elapses, let it sit in there, just leave it in there. The heating element's gonna go off, but you're still gonna have smoke in there. The smokier you want it, the longer you keep it in there. So, cold smoke fish, cheese is awesome. You could cold smoke proteins before you cook them, because when they're raw, they absorb that smoke better. So there's all kinds of things you can do. And then, any questions on that? And when you're done, you just, pull it out, dump your chips, and you're ready to go back. Once you smoke in here, though, you do want to run a rinse before you do combi cooking or steaming or anything. Okay? Because you want to. So, sure. Yeah, you want here for the cleaning, right? So here's your auto clean right there. There. That button you've got 5 different levels. Here's your rinse right here.
Oh yeah, fill them up.
So run a quick rinse in between, like greasy veg, something like that. The concern is flavor transfer. After you do a smoke, run a rinse. So the next thing you do doesn't taste like smoke. Yeah. This is your general cleaning, the middle one, and this is all the way to the heavy duty. When you hit this button right there, it's going to tell you how many tablets to put in, how many cleaning tablets. And the cleaning tablets go in right here. Yeah. Mop this up. Okay. Throw them in there. Hit start and you're good to go. Keep in mind that it will lock you out. Once you start a cleaning program, you can't stop it. So make sure you're completely done. Go, oh shit, I've got to do the cookie. It's not going to happen. So just keep that in mind. So back to here. And then here's this, don't worry about this one. This is retherm. It's basically combi mode, which is it's just like the sweet spot for retherm, like 275. That's kind of the temperature. Yeah, it's like it's used a lot in like banquet situations where they pre-cook food, they plate it cold, and then they reheat it for the banquet. So like, yeah, okay. So if you are doing a lot of that, this is a good starting point. So 5 minutes is probably too short for a full batch, but in terms of temperature and cook mode, that's a good starting point. Because you don't want to preheat everything. You don't want to reheat everything at 350 convection mode because it's just going to dry it out. You're going to kill the quality of it. You can fully cook product, reheat it at 275. In combi mode, and people will have no idea that you cooked it yesterday. So that's all those banquets in Vegas, they all do that. It just depends on the product, but start with 20 minutes and then test it out. What's nice about it is at this low temperature in combi mode, it's not really going to destroy the integrity of the food. Something I would recommend though, if you're doing retherm, is preheat dry. And here's why. I got this from this guy's factory. Preheat in convection mode because you want a dry cavity. Because if you just throw it in and you're go right into combi mode, all this condensation is gonna get onto the plates. So preheat dry and then reheat in combi mode. Okay? I'll leave you guys my card, so if you have any questions, like what was he saying again? Give me a call. I recommend preheat regardless. If you're just basic cooking, I also recommend preheating 25 to 50 degrees above your cook temperature because you're going to open the door, you're going to load cold product in there, it's going to drop that oven temperature. So your preheat, let's say you want to do 325, you preheat, and there's this preheat. So when it's done, it's going to beep, and then you can stop, and then you go here, and then, okay, now I'm going to cook at 325 or whatever, and then start. Okay? It's pretty intuitive once you start, playing around with it. The key is to not get overwhelmed with all these icons at first. Because just focus on your cook mode, your temperature, your time, and then do your proteins if you can, and with the probe. You don't have to. You don't have to do them all with the probe. You're doing like chicken breast, probably 375 for 15 minutes or something. Combi mode. So, check your temps, make sure you're in the safe zone, and you'll be good. You're going to see you're going to have a moisture product when it comes out. You're going to have a better yield, less shrinkage, cook times are faster. You'll love combi mode. And then this is your cool down right here. So I use this if I want to clean. And I just cooked something at 400. And I want to go into cleaning mode. It's telling me to open it up. The fan's going to kick on. And then when it reaches that 100 degrees, it's going to give you an audible report. Okay, so you can kick on. Got a hose here. So this is helpful too if you don't have time to run that quick rinse. And you can do a little mild spray in there. Even just like a bottle of soap and water, like that. Spray it out, rinse it out. There's your rinse. There's your quick rinse. This also is great for steaming vegetables. You want to give them a quick shot, stop them from cooking. Give them a little spray on there. By the way, if this needs to pull out and stop like that, then it'll work. If it's loose, it won't work. Okay. So let's say I did a bunch of broccoli, I want to cool it down real quick. Quick spray. You'd be surprised at how much it helps cool it down. Also, it's kind of hard to tell which direction, so make sure you're not going like this. Which I've done. So, this is for, you guys don't really need this. Software updates and recipe downloads, you can use that. So don't really need that. Chef will probably use that. The recipes in here. But we don't need to go into too much of the programming of the recipes. Because the first thing when you guys use and then you can do the recipe. I just want to show you this. Okay, so if, on the subject of recipes, just show you guys. Although you don't need to start writing recipes, but you can. It's kind of cool. These are shipped with the oven. These are all tried and true recipes. So you can try some of these out. Like here's a veg, push a button. It's got a preheat programmed in. It's 212 steam. That's all it is. So it's kind of nice when you get to that point. You know, you're in a hurry. You want to do half a chicken.
Yeah.
So it's got the preheat built in. Now, how do you write a recipe? Right? Go back to this screen. So I'm back here. Okay, so I'm ready to write a recipe. I want to do chicken breasts. I'm going to cook them at 375, and I want to cook them to 175. So go right here. That little pencil right there. So I'm going to start right here. I'm going to start with the preheat. So let's say I'm gonna preheat at 425. Okay. Next step. Now I need to tell it what mode I'm gonna cook in. I'm gonna go combi mode. You can change all these, but don't worry about that for now. Start with that. We're at 80% fan, 100% humidity. That's the default. That works for 90% of everything. So I'm gonna go 375, and then I'm gonna go Pro to 175. Okay. I could add another step. I could change cook modes. I could change temperatures. I could add a recipe. There's all kinds of crazy stuff. Our other chef, my partner Juno, he created a 9-step recipe for a Peking duck from frozen. Takes the duck out of the freezer, hangs it on the rack, push a button. It takes like 2 hours. He has a thawing step, he has a resting step, it's incredible. You guys don't even do that. So let's say, okay, we're good, right? We're going to put this little icon right here to save it. We're going to name it. Check. There it is. You could add your pictures and stuff. You could add icons and. But I don't need to worry. I don't want to overwhelm you guys. This thing's like a freaking computer, but it doesn't have to be overly complicated. You're still going to get really good product out of here if you just cook mostly in combi mode, steam for steam products. Otherwise, go combi mode. Unless you're baking, go convection. So if you just kind of stay within those parameters, then you'll start to learn more and more what you can do. And there's a lot. And then the smoking stuff is kind of leads you along. Okay. So you go back home and go here. If I want to run that recipe. So there's my preheat. While it's preheating, it's all made up. So you can actually take that probe out and probe it outside the oven, which I like to do sometimes, because then you're not dealing with a hot probe. So it's probed, it's on your rack, throw them in, pop it in there, and close the door when it reaches 175 internal temperature. Probe the biggest one. Probe the fattest one, it gets to 175. Good. So perfect, consistent. Yeah, questions? Yeah. just recommend start out with basic stuff, and then as you kind of start to hone in on your recipes and get more used to it, create some programs, and then use those. Use the probe if you can for the proteins, and you guys will love it. Feel free to call me. I'm not a salesman. All I do is support operators. If you want to see any of these parameters in here, this is for HACCP. HACCP data, which we use here. You guys don't need to do that. Chef might need that. And then this one has some different stuff if you want to change it around. Like if you want to know what they all are, again, this I button is your friend. When I first started working for Alto Sham, I use this religiously because you just forget there's so many icons. So this helps tremendously. This is how I turn the volume down. You can go down, you can go up, you can change the tone. So that's why I like the horse racing one. You guys can change that. But again, this one's important, the probe calibration. You weren't here when I showed them that. So you're going to hit this, and then you're going to, with the probe plugged in here, you're going to take some ice water, more ice than water, stir it in there, let that temperature stabilize. Once it stabilizes, your goal is 32 degrees. So if it's 33, you push the minus button. If it's 31, you push the plus button. So they settle in right there at 32. Okay. So I'll probably come back. I'm going to check the shop sometime next week, see how you guys are doing. Check in on you guys. But if I leave and you forget everything, you're like, oh, okay, I won't do that potatoes.
Alright, I'll be right with you, sir, and I'll show you.
But I can tell you right now, I do so many things on 375 in here in collie mode, and it's like, that's kind of my default. Because you can, you're still going to get browning, you're going to cook the product. So if you're not sure, just go 370. And then how long do I cook it? I'll tell you what my culinary instructor told me. Cook it until it's done.
There's a phone in here, I think. Hang on one second.
That's what they always say. So that's how you figure out your timing. Alright, guys. Yeah, please do.
Alright, sir, if you want to follow me with that,
yeah, so that is here, I believe. Here's that one. Oh, right here. So I don't want to start it because it takes like 20 minutes or so. Unless are you guys cooking on this thing? You're not? Okay. So I'll go ahead and run it, and we'll just show you. Put that button right there. Start. And so it's step one, convection. It runs through different cycles. It'll run through steam. But it's just kind of making sure that everything is working, basically, calibrated correctly. And then at the end, it'll say pass or fail, basically. So, and then you just go back. So, and you can stop this one. So I wasn't sure, but you can stop this one. You can. So I'm assuming those guys ran it.
Have you ever seen
Yes, they ran it. They did. So they have to go through their whole process. They do this and then higher water pressure. Okay, good. CO2, everything. Yeah, that's why I wasn't worried because I knew that those guys have done all before. I always say that to people. Like, I'm an anime guy. What's up with comedy? I'm somebody who's done comedy before, who's in contact with, because they're an ASA, authorized citizen. So they can call us back for support. The anime guy is going to be like, I don't know what to do, you know, and I wouldn't recommend it. So that was, I'm glad that, you know, they had somebody experienced authorized service agent. So, that's about it for now. I think I don't want to overwhelm you guys. Just get started with it and don't be afraid of it. It's just at the end of the day, it's still an oven. You're still just cooking, right? So, like I said, if you're not sure what to do, just go 375 combi mode. That works for everything. You can go higher temperatures in combi mode too, because you have a little bit more. It's not such an intense radiant heat because you have that moisture. And you'd be surprised. You know, I always used to think you couldn't get good browning when you have all that humidity and stuff. You get really good browning. Frozen chicken, yeah. Okay. Frozen chicken what? Breaded? Okay, frozen chicken breast. Go, yeah, you can throw it in there. From frozen? Yeah, go 375 for, you can even do a two, well, you don't need to do a 2-stage. Just go like, yeah, 375 would be fine on that one. We're talking pre-cooked, right? From raw. Okay. I mean, I would slack it out. You know, that would probably be better. But again, you like I said, you could go 375 combi mode, and you know, go for like probably 30 minutes.
That little pyramid will look real nice.
Because you're in combi mode. I mean, I would recommend thawing it, but if you can't, you can throw it in there. It's still gonna come. Yeah, I would recommend thawing it overnight. So I'm just running the self-diagnosis. Another thing, when you open the door, open it like this. And come around this way. Because of all that moisture in the cavity, you're in combi or steam mode, if you open it right here, you're going to get a serious blast on your face. And if you've ever had a steam burn, you remember it. That is like the worst burn you can get. So, but again, just at first, just keep it simple. Start with your cook modes and your the temperatures that you're kind of used to. You're going to cut your time down. Proteins, use pro. Okay. All right. Yeah, you're welcome. So, I think I got them up to speed. Turn it on. I will be in the area Monday. Okay. I thought I could just check up on them and see how they're doing. No, I think these guys, yeah, those are chicken wraps. Do you order those?
I mean, maybe.
Use them.
Yeah, we'll use them.
Yeah, I mean, you can do whole
We
chicken.
got a lot of whole birds here.
Yeah. Throw them in, use pro.
Other four?
Yeah, what's interesting is you got 2 different kinds too.
You're taking the tour?
So you got. Oh no, they're the same. Yeah, they all go.
Oh, wait, was one for ribs?
I want to go.
Yeah, if I made it last night, might as well go to the.
Good bread.
Our area. That's right. Did they?
Those are going on a So those are for really small, I guess.
Quarter shells?
Yeah, corner shells.
I did one tour as well.
What's that?
I did one tour as well.
I've already done it. We did it last year, so. Yeah,
kosher recipe for whole chicken.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. All these.
Do you want to go on a tour? I've already seen
I have all the
it.
paper.
Yeah. Is this, do we need to finish this? You know what? Nobody gives
So-
you
Right now, we're just running everything
I
on
don't know
manual,
if they
right,
have
until
enough
we
or
get
maybe
some
we do
programs.
another meeting.
That's
Okay.
what I
I think we
recommend.
should
Yep.
Tell them.
Well, if we do it, they can always
If
use
you're
it.
using Steam, go ahead and use Steam. You know,
I'll wash my
Steam,
hands and I'll do it.
And then
I'll
unless
do
you're
it. I can do
baking,
it. Okay, thank you.
which in baking, you probably just want to, you can bake in combi, but I think for now, just have them just go convection.
I baked in convection this morning. Little cinnamon rolls.
Yeah, and you know.
Were you just showing the attachment for the smoker? You guys weren't smoking.
No, I just showed it to them and how to put it in there.
And one other question that I wish Pat would be here for is everybody's tripping about
Clean.
Yeah. But Pat was here? Okay. So
Yeah.
you explained the pods.
Yep. So it's cooling it down. I showed them the whole process.
Yeah, run me through it. You can
Okay.
ask on a minute.
So I hit the icon. So there's the icon right there. And then
There's
it's,
fan cooling it
yeah,
down.
so
Okay.
it's cooling it down. So if it's above 150, it's gonna automatically tell you to open the door.
Okay.
So you open the door, now it's cooling it down. And then we'll get our five options here.
Oh. Is there an info button? Like the one that was up here? Because I just hit that
Yeah.
this morning and
This one doesn't have it from here.
oh, okay.
That's the only screen it's not on.
Okay.
But this is your rinse. This is your heavy duty. And there's everything in between based on.
So if we're doing daily, because this is going to be cleaned overnight daily,
Yeah.
so do you think the middle one will be fine, like the medium? And then
Unless you're doing a bunch of greasy food.
let me grab those tablets.
Okay.
So I just don't know how the message is going to get to the overnight staff. This is our we're using. We got one bucket of these that I don't even know what.
Yeah.
Read it says
Good.
read. No, you're good. So it's just one of these for cleaning?
No, it'll tell you based on the level of cleaning you're gonna do. So I think
But
the
they're just,
middle
these are
one.
individual, okay.
Yeah. So you just have some scissors, cut them open. If you hit this one, it'll tell you how many. It'll say, I think this one's 4 tablets.
Oh, so
It's
it's
three
not
or
like
four.
it senses the dirt.
No,
Okay.
it doesn't. And then you put them inside here. So you pop this up,
Okay.
jam them in there, goes down in there, close it, and then it does its thing.
And then when it's done,
Then when it's done, it just, yeah, you can do that. Sometimes if I'm gonna dry it out, I'll just go run it in convection for, 5 minutes or something.
we don't physically have
You
to
don't really need to. You want to get the big chunks out of there.
before we clean it.
Yes, before you clean it because you don't want to clog the
That's
drain.
definitely something we can have to
Like
do.
if there's little pieces of chicken or whatever,
Yeah.
something in there, you want to get those out of there. Do you get the spray too? I think you did. It'll be like. Yeah. You can spray and then run steam, and then that moisture will.
So he said
You
this
can
is
use
kind
this
of we
too.
can use for in between, like if we smoke something and then need to use it quick to steam some broccoli, we can just and
Oh, yeah,
it'll help us.
Or for like spot cleaning and stuff, it's good for that. What this will do,
Yes,
it'll
exactly.
save you tablets. Like if you can use this in combination with this, you won't have to use as many.
Okay.
Because these are not cheap.
How many can we 90?
Yeah. So if you use like 4 per
If I do
day.
3 a day, that's we're going for a buck a month.
Yeah, which is why if you supplement with this, and also if you're just doing like retherm or non-greasy stuff all day, just do it. You could just do a squirt, do a rinse, and then run a rinse, and you're good, you know?
Okay.
You don't have to just automatically do an hour and a half clean.
I want the most knowledge because it's the overnight who's going to be
Yeah.
handling. Okay, so we put these in, and then what mode does it go in again? The middle one,
Yeah, that one.
and then it's
That's
an
like
hour. It's
standard.
an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's like an hour and 40 minutes, I think.
Okay.
And this one, if you're doing like a lot of greasy stuff,
Bacon.
it's like 7 tablets. Yeah, bacon.
But I mean, we're talking like some pretty heavy soil.
Yeah. I'm talking. This is what Kroger uses after they do chicken all day long.
We would never accumulate that much
Yeah,
grease,
yeah.
baked.
Yeah. You know, if you're doing like 50 chickens in one oven, you know. That,
I think the biggest will be Thanksgiving, and how many did we cook last year? 20. And I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna go out on a limb and do some overnight,
oh yeah, absolutely.
just cause
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
And then we'll split, however we did last time, we split them.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
But we're just the efficiency is stupid now with this oven. I mean,
Oh.
I was turning around this morning, everything
Speed.
was done. I was like,
Yeah.
this is great.
Yeah. Once you get used to it, it's just like it's really hard to go back. You know.
So
To go to a
let's
standard oven or even a
so touch on these doors a little bit.
Sure.
So when we're cleaning with the tablets,
Yep.
what's the best way to get after these? Just use some of the Combi-Gun cleaner, or what's your recommendation?
Yeah, like you can just use like a mild glass cleaner. You got triple pane here too, so this one fits.
But for the heavy soil, use the
like on the outside
cleaner.
here,
Yeah.
you can use the Combi cleaner.
Okay.
And you can use the non-abrasive scrubby, like the I forgot the green one or something. You know,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
3M, yeah. Is it the green one? Yeah, yeah. That
Well,
doesn't
we have-
scratch glass.
Can you give them one of those Dallas ones? Do you have any? Yeah.
I like baking soda too, like baking soda, vinegar, and stuff like that. Natural stuff.
Same.
Looks pretty good.
I like the baking soda vinegar again.
Yeah.
Seal up the container really tight. Looks great.
Yeah.
Simon's got all the answers, just ask him. Are you here today? Nah, I'm not here. I know, I'm well aware. That's what I do with dreams of being a jackass. Alright, do you have any questions? He's gonna come back on Monday. What time's gonna work for you on Monday?
Let's see, I'm at UCS. Probably like 9:30. So probably 10ish.
Can you do 10:30? I'm just not
10:30,
sure.
yeah.
I don't have November calendars yet. It just happened to work out today because they're using
Yeah.
the barbecues. So
Yeah.
let's just shoot for 10:30 because then I leave. Well, you won't be here quite yet. You have any wiggle room? He'll be here at 12. Is that
Okay.
too late?
Yeah. No, I can because I have another thing I have to do. So is noon better?
Does that work for you?
Noon.
Because
Okay.
then by 12 we're up and running for lunch, and
Yeah.
then we can play around.
And then you can
if
focus
it's dirty,
more.
maybe
Okay.
we soil one oven really gnarly, and we can practice.
Yeah. Run those in there. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Do you feel like Pat has a good understanding of the cleaning?
Yeah.
Because he's going to probably have to show Karina, and then Karina will show the overnight. It's very hard to get information to the overnight crew.
Oh,
And then I
really?
feel bad because they don't have the information to do their job, and then I'm crawling up their ass like, what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Did I show show you how to check if they are running the cleaning cycle? You want to see
No,
that?
but yes.
Okay.
We already talked about this.
Okay, so you go into your settings here, and then you go to HACCP. Hit that, and it's going to tell you every cycle that was run, including the cleaning cycle. So I don't know if they tested it. Okay, so they did. They tested it. And it's going to tell you when.
August 19th.
Yeah. And it's going to tell you that was a rinse.
So hold on. They tested it before it got dropped here? Wait,
No, I
these
think-
ovens have been here.
Tested it.
I think Airite tested it.
Tested it one day when they.
Oh, there was the 10, 19 days.
Oh,
I think I just saw.
Yeah, yeah. So they, yeah, go ahead. So yeah, HACCP is an arrow, an arrow.
Oh yeah, here's all the 10, 28s.
Yeah, so they were running through spaces.
Regular clean, that's what I want to look for.
Yeah.
So they know if you're lying.
No.
How do I get more info? So there's nothing there because they haven't done it yet, right?
Right. It's just like telling you, and then. You can,
So if it
want
looks
to
like this in a
download it.
month, we got a problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you want
And
to
then I need to get a zip drive here, you said, right? And that's where we
yeah,
can.
flash drive. You can
Flash
pull
drive.
recipes, upload recipes.
So my plan is, ICC comes here on Friday. Somebody get a picture of their chicken, and then we're gonna upload it. And when ICC comes to cook, boom, that's your chicken butt.
Yeah.
And then Cross Connection Church, we can program their barbecue chicken, make everybody feel special.
Yeah. But as I mentioned, my support is ongoing. So the more you guys get kind of advanced through the capabilities of this oven, the more
And then did you drop the volume down?
I did.
And then
So,
show me the I don't know if I can really stand that alarm, but if you like it,
so there's the volume right there. I put it on the horse race one. You can change it to whatever you want. And then here's the volume up or down. So whatever you want to do. It's up to you.
just for fun.
Yeah, I know. I like
It'll
that.
be a conversation piece if nothing else.
Yeah.
Then you take your own audio and plug it into there.
That would be cool. I don't know. That's a question for the factory.
I heard somebody had Halloween one time.
Well, that would be cool. Like Halloween music.
It was really loud. It was fun. It was at a barbecue place.
Yeah, you probably can. I guess for the next generation, you're just gonna think about what you want to cook, and it's gonna.
Yeah, right. That's scary. I'll just stand next to the oven now and it knows.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you feel good. You can at least run it in manual until we get some programming done. It's big
Oh,
and
and
there's
what I
a lot of
mentioned, if
buttons,
you're not
but
using the probes, I say take them out
let's get them out.
because
I don't
You
think
can
we're there yet, but we don't need the wear and tear.
and you can still
How much
use
are the
them
probes?
outside for $300.
Okay,
So-
whatever. Did you remove the bottom one? Okay. Right, yeah. Because I got both thermometers, so there's just
And
been
then some more safe.
Yep.
Also, when I probe cook too, a lot of times I'll probe outside the oven anyway.
Right.
Because then, okay, we want to probe cook. You take them out, you probe the chicken or roast beef or whatever. You set your temp, throw it in, and then you just put the jack right into that. And then you're ready to go.
And then this will be when we load stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I just showed them how to do a chicken breast recipe.
Oh, but
that I
this
did.
is already loaded for
These come, yeah.
Okay.
And
So-
these are good to go recipes. These are tried and true recipes. So
Okay, so it's gonna heat to 350. Then
Yeah.
does it tell me?
It's
is
gonna
there somewhere to
preheat.
look where how long it's gonna
so
cook?
once it gets up to 10, if you want to look at the recipes,
Yeah.
we'll go into here. So now it's in red.
Oh, that means I
So
can
now we're in
select.
edit mode. Yeah. So you go here, and then there's your recipe. So it's 3. So this is the recipe. 3.
Okay.
That's the first stage. That's the preheat.
Okay.
And then
What's the half?
it's
Oh,
20
stage
minutes
1,
at
2.
350.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then so you can change it, and then save it, and that's what it's currently at.
Okay. That'll be. I'll probably need you back here later for programming.
Yeah,
but
I didn't really want to get into
No,
that too much right
no,
now,
me
but
neither.
just for you to know, so you
Right.
can see what they are.
Right. And then no special tricks or anything. These are.
This one, yeah. The thing with this is you just want to make sure when you pull it out, that it's stopped. It's not loose like this, because if it's loose, it won't shoot.
Okay.
But then once it stops, then now we're good.
Yep. Also good for filling pots.
Yeah, you can totally use it right
Yeah.
there.
Well, I want to get the stem, the valves, or the stem on here higher.